Welcome, everyone. We're here with the official queen of the party line, Miss Tanis Gray. Welcome, Tanis. And I
Hi.
think I think you're really doing a good job of staying out ahead of all of our other guests in terms of just the sheer number of times you've been here. So congratulations on that. Clearly, a woman who doesn't sleep.
Sleep is for the weak. I'll sleep when
Oh,
I'm dead.
yeah, there you go. Or retired, one or the other. So, though I don't know, do knitters ever retire? I don't think they do.
Yeah, I, I don't think so. But that's the
Yeah,
beauty of our craft. You can do it forever.
I think that's true. So, as long as somebody's making yarn, we'll figure out a way, right? So, yeah, and I always say people laugh now at my stash, but they won't laugh if there's a second ice age, right?
Or a zombie apocalypse, which is probably more likely.
Yeah, so we're good. Yeah, Candy says she's taking her yarn with her. You go, girl. So the welcome back, and I think I'm trying to remember you were here for at Mother's Day. You were here the day before Mother's Day for From Mama with Love. I think was the last time we saw you, which was
And that was a group podcast. That was fun.
yeah, when your knitting friends who contributed to the ebook, that was nice. We had quite the group, which I think is the first time we've had like three or four authors on at the same time, which was really interesting coming from everywhere. Which technology is great. So, but now we're here with a book that you can buy actual hard copies and hold them in your hand. Yes, exactly. And so, with three skeins or less fresh knitted accessories, which is very timely given the holidays are coming up, and accessories are such a great gift because you're really not worried about size and fit, and they tend to be much
And
quicker.
time. Yeah,
Yeah,
time.
the
I mean,
time thing.
it's so valuable. You
Yes.
don't necessarily want to knit a giant sweater for your post person. So you can make them some fingerless mitts instead.
Yeah. So, Tanis, are you on the speakerphone? Because it's coming in and out.
I am on my laptop computer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I think when you sit
And my
closer, we're getting fine. We're getting the sound just fine when you sit a little closer.
okay.
So,
And my pug is snoring at my feet, and that's very loud as well.
oh,
You're
funny.
probably picking up pug snoring.
Oh, that's what it is. It's interfering with your sound. Yeah. If your dog snores that loud, maybe it's time to get him to the doctor. So, oh, and Candy says she loves that your workspace looks like hers. Organizing takes away from knitting time, which I fully agree with. It's always nice to see designers in their natural environment as opposed to their staged environment.
Well,
So,
it is actually the ones behind me are the messy ones. The rest of them are all my books are very nicely organized. That's just
yeah.
the messy part.
Well, we
But,
appreciate you being willing to show that to us.
well, everyone's human. I mean, I'd rather be knitting than cleaning.
Yeah,
So,
you and everybody in the room, I think. So talk to us about this new book. How did it come about?
I love this book. I think this is my current favorite of mine, actually. And it came across from digging through my stash, actually, and seeing that I had a lot of lonely skeins and a lot of luxury yarn or special yarn that I had gotten from fiber festivals or farmers markets, where a lot of times you can't get more than one or two hanks. And what do you do with all that? And also time and just, being a mom or even just being a human being, we all have a million things going on. So small projects using up that nice yarn. And it's a good excuse to buy that, one hank of $80 cashmere or whatever you've had your eyes on because you can knit something small and manageable and also just taking your project with you. So I live in a city, we commute a lot, we take the metro, we walk, so being able to bring my knitting and not have to carry a backpack for it is also nice.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to take a full size Afghan with you on the road.
Yes, I mean it
Yeah.
can be done.
It,
If you're taking the train, it probably shouldn't be done. So
No, probably not. And then the other thing too, of course, is for people who procrastinate and who start their holiday gift knitting, say a week ahead of Christmas. Um,
That's crazy talk, but yes.
yeah. So, somebody wants to know what's sitting on the behind me. And if people who come back and watch this later will not get video, but what's sitting behind me, I will admit that I have begun decorating my cabin for Christmas. As you can see, if I move right here, you can see that my trip or that my tree is up. And that's actually a little reindeer wearing a sweater that's sitting on the stairs to the loft ahead of me. So, yeah, I admit it. I've
That's
started.
you need a reindeer sweater. That
Yeah, the
makes perfect
reindeer's
sense.
wearing a red and black Fair Isle sweater, so I couldn't resist him. He's wearing Fair Isle. Hello. So let's take a peek at the book.
Okay.
And I have to say I really love the backgrounds in this book. They're just it's
Yeah.
I don't, yeah, there's something, it's like rustic and elegant at the same time. I think people, when we take a peek inside the book, that you'll see, I mean, the styling is just really, really lovely. This, this might be my favorite project in the book. I mean, it's hard for me to choose a favorite, but one of the things, of course, is about preparing these interviews is I get to pick out of the book the things that are my favorites, and that show a range of things that are in the book, of course, because I have to be practical. But these are really gorgeous. The texture is great. These on these mitts. Tell us what we're looking at here.
These are by Anne Weaver, who is local to me, actually. We're friends in real life, too, which is always kind of nice when you get to work with people that you like. And they're lots of Latvian braids, and I love Latvian braids. We kind of share this obsession with Latvian braids. And the complementary colors, and they go pretty quick, and the braids make them almost double thick, and they're just a fun knit. A lot of texture. You could throw in a third color if you wanted to, and they're different. They're not just knits and pearls or a little cable running up the middle. They're really cool.
Okay, so and Jamie's asking, can you hold up the knit or a pick? Jamie, you should see that on your screen now. If not, um,
Here's
you're gonna
Let you
want
take a
to
look.
maybe log out and log back in because you should actually see that on your screen. So
Right, and I don't have the only garments that I have are the cover mitts with me.
yeah,
But yeah, they should be on the
should
screen.
be on the screen. So okay, so yeah, these are gorgeous, and I can think. I mean, it's really beautiful with that sweater, but I can I can see this, like in black and white. I mean, it's so gorgeous. So, Kimberly says she can't see it on her screen either.
Hmm,
Ah, interesting.
that is weird.
Okay. You might both be on web viewers. That might be why you can't. I don't know. Because I mean, I think everybody else can see it. Can If you can see it, can you just type me a little message?
I can also hold them up if that helps.
Yeah, I'm just
See.
hoping that we don't have. Okay.
Oh,
I think it may be how people are logged in. Okay.
yeah, like if they're on a mobile device or something.
Yeah, Jamie says she only sees headshots. Jamie, you might want to log out and log back in because you should have a full screen of this of the design on your page or on your screen.
Oh, iPad.
Oh,
Yeah,
iPad. Yeah, that could be it.
yeah.
So, okay,
Okay.
so let's look at the next project. And I'm such a huge fan of Colorwork. And for those, if this is your first visit here when Tanis has been a guest, I owe Tanis my Fair Isle life, basically. I took Tanis's two-handed Fair Isle in the round class at Vogue Knitting a couple years ago. I think it's been maybe 3 years
I
now.
was 2011. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
January.
January of 2011, so
Old.
almost 3 years. Yeah, and it totally changed my knitting life when it goes with especially knitting in the round with on Fair Isle because I just love Fair Isle. It's one of my favorite things. So it was nice to see this really cool colorwork hat. Tell us about this.
Um, is a it's a good introduction to Fair Isle. So if you are not really into like the Nordic stars or the traditional Fair Isle techniques, this is more of like a faux color block. It is not intarsia. It is Fair Isle, and it's Brooklyn tweed shelter. And it's I like the how the checks go from really big to medium to really
Yeah.
small, and I love a tassel. And it's a unisex too, so you could it's a little tall on this model. It was meant to be a little more slouchy, but it's a cute hat. So
Yeah, very much. And the thing about intarsia in the round is fiddly and kind of a pain in the butt. And honestly, I mean, I do it, but it's kind of a pain in the butt. So because you're not really knitting in the round, you're just knitting back and forth and joining the edges. But so knitting Fair Isle in the round is so fast if you do the two hands. If you do it the two-handed method, and for those who aren't lucky enough to take that class from Tanis, I have videos on YouTube for that technique. So it's super fast and it's really easy.
and
So
this would be really good to learn combination knitting because you're English or American with your right hand and continental with your left. And checks, so these red and white squares are the perfect pattern to learn how to combo knit because you don't have to worry about changing your colors so frequently. So yeah, this would be great. So watch Beth's tutorial and you could knit this hat and you'll be a Fair Isle champ.
yeah, and I think it's a great practice piece, since it's long repeats, which is nice um, when you don't have to you're not watching a chart where you're changing colors every one or two stitches. So yeah, and you kind of and it starts from the crown from the bottom up. Yeah. Yeah. So you get a
Yes.
chance to kind of practice before you get to the tight ones at the top,
Ease
the
your way
tighter
into
ones. Yeah,
it. And
really,
this is
really
Susan
clever.
Anderson, also one of probably the nicest people on the planet. So it's a great hat all around.
Oh, great. I'm sorry, who was the designer?
Susan Anderson.
Oh, yeah. Really pretty.
Normally does stuff, so it's nice to see her break out a little bit.
Very cute. And who doesn't like a nice thick Mobius, right?
Agreed. So here's that for those who can't see. And it comes in two versions, actually. Here's the other version. Uh,
Oh, yeah, much lighter weight.
yeah, same exact pattern, different yarns. So a nice example in how just switching up your yarn can really change the look and feel of a project. So we
Yeah.
all have Lee Hanks in our stash. So if you don't have the right weight, if it's a non-fitted garment like a cowl or a shawl, it doesn't matter. So it'll change the size, but probably not by much. So,
Yeah. And Patricia says she loves this, which I agree. This is one of those gifts that, people will think you're a genius because of the Mobius part. It's like, how did you get that in there? Yeah. Little do they know. So, yeah, but this is really pretty. I love that color too. I'm a huge fan. So,
it's
yeah,
kind of like a
Juanita says she
fur.
loves this as a shoulder warmer, which I agree. It's really pretty. So, let's see what else you got for us. This this is so sharp and so unusual.
Here's the picture.
Yeah,
For
so
those,
it's just
yeah.
modern and fresh and it's just sharp. Tell us about this project.
This is the Delancey cowl by Kirsten Kapoor, and two colors. And you start with the eyelet part, the part that almost looks like eyes, and then you pick up the other way and do the stripes, and then you go back and do the button band at the end. And I am actually teaching this weekend in Baltimore if anybody's local at the knitting boutique. But it's nice because you can any two colors, they can be really close or highly contrasting like this, but it's big, and you wrap it. It is unique. It's a very pretty project. know if there's a picture of it open.
Yeah, Juanita says this is really classy, and Jamie wants it. I do too. I keep
So
waiting for
it's
someone to
not,
volunteer to knit something for me for Christmas, and this would be a good choice for anybody who's thinking about it. And I think plum and cream would be my choice. So
even
just in
I'd go
case.
gray and white.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
really
gray.
pretty. Well, and you're used to living in the big city where it's black and white, gray and cream, black and cream. I mean, that's the uniform, right?
Yeah, this is like the one pattern shirt I have, and it's predominantly black. So too many years living in a city.
Yeah, exactly. My daughter-in-law lived in New York City for too long, and everything she wears is black or gray. So that's what I knit for her because even though she's in New Orleans, she's still wearing it. So
You get used to it. It's hard to break free from the mold.
yeah, it's like the uniform, right? So because you don't want anything that's gonna get dirty on the subway. So
Exactly.
this is so pretty. This is so flapper kind of shape. This really reminds me of kind of the flapper caps or the hats they used to wear. Tell us about this project.
I what I like best about this is the picot edge. I love a picot edge. It's just a classic way to make something really feminine and create a little bit of texture, and it's a nice, pretty easy lace pattern, and it's got an interesting crown. I'm always interested in the crowns of hats. So you can see it's
Oh
got like a
yeah.
nice spiral. Um, because you think about when you wear your hat, people see you from behind. So the back is as important as the front. And it's just this beautiful hand-dyed alchemy yarn, and they're one of my favorite companies. And hats are quick knits. So if you've got I it's awful, but like the tiers of gifts, like the group A, the group B, the group C,
Oh, we all have
people that
them.
deserve a hand knit. Yeah, they deserve a hand knit, but probably don't want to make them a lace shawl on twos. A hat is great because they everybody has a head, everybody's head gets cold, so hats are really great gifts.
Yeah, and the nice thing is it's not like if you have one, you don't need another, right? So,
It's embarrassing how many hats I probably have at least 3 dozen hats, and I wear them all. I love a knit hat in the winter.
well, you can always send them up here. Since I don't have any. So yeah, Juanita says it looks like the Roaring Twenties, which was when I saw it. That's what I thought too. It has that sort of flapper look to it. I really like it.
Yeah, cute hat.
So and here's another example of um, how a small amount of color work has such a big impact. So talk to
Yeah,
us
and
about this hat.
similar colors, which are interesting. A lot of people think that Fair Isle, sorry, I'm trying to find it for those who can't see it on their screen. A lot of people think that Fair Isle, you have to do highly contrasting. So there's the hat, and you don't. They can be in slightly different shades, and this is, pink, red, and like a mulberry color, and it's just enough, and it's not really a traditional Fair Isle pattern, and I think it's great, and it's just on the brim, so you don't have to worry about decreasing and keeping the Fair Isle pattern straight. And there was enough yarn left from this hat because you don't use a ton of the red and the pink that you could, mimic that motif and do like a pair of wristers and just put it like on that part of your hand.
Yes, just it's really I like that kind of more subtle colorations. I did a for my book that just came out, I did a draft stopper that's actually like in 4 shades of icy blue. And it's just there's something really classic about the colors when they meld. So
I
really
agree.
lovely.
Well, and being a Fair Isle expert yourself now, you know that by switching up the colors. I taught a Fair Isle hat last night, and everyone used, I had 6 students, all different colors, all the same hat. They look completely different. So I love Fair Isle, I feel like more than any other technique, you can really make it your own, or the gift recipient, if it's for someone else. If they like green, you can put green in there. So Fair Isle, really, you can make it personal.
Yeah, and with a project this size too, you don't need a lot of yarn, right?
No,
So yeah, it's
this is I think. Yeah, and it's only got 150 yards each. I think she used a lot of the main color, but definitely not a lot of the contrasting ones.
Very nice. So let me help Susan here because she's really having problems. So she's in the room 9 times. So I think that's why she's having trouble. So, oh, she's working it out. Oh, good. Okay. So on to our next project. Oh, let me go here. And this is the cover project. You know, what's so funny is that growing up, I was told that pink and red do not go together.
Sure they
I'm
do.
sure they do.
I
It's
love
just
pink and
it
red.
depends on the pink. It depends on the red. But it was like, oh, pink and red, or like red and orange. There are things that you pink and orange. You do not wear them together. And
Absolutely. The
yeah,
brighter the better.
I agree. And I think especially in the cold weather, where like this model is wearing a gray jacket, and I think most of us for our coats tend to go with black or gray because they don't get dirty and you're outside in the snow or whatever. Is I That's, I think, the place for really cheerful mitts, hats, scarves, so because otherwise it can be just, I don't know, just gray and depressing. It's gray outside, your coat is gray, you know yeah, at a certain age your hair is gray. I mean, you need a pop of color. They're going to dig me up to see how gray I am. But anyway, these are so cute, and the texture on them is beautiful. So tell us about this project.
These are mine in the book, so I always write the books and wrangle everyone, and I try to have at least one project in all my books. So this was mine. It's sock yarn, but it's self-striping, so you can see on the back that the yarn did all the work for me, which is very nice of the yarn. And
It
it's
was
a
very
sock yarn,
thoughtful.
so but you don't have to use sock yarn for socks. So mittens, and the cable pattern is just a twisted cable, but it goes from the cuff. I like it when patterns continue on seamlessly, so they just go up and then it stops here. It's sort of meant to mimic the shape of the hand.
Yeah, and I love
So
that you use the reverse side of the stockinette because when you do stripes, you get that little blip
yeah,
of
you get
color.
which can work.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't like with lace, maybe not. It would probably compete, but with a simple twisted cable, yeah, why not?
Yeah, really cute.
People are already freaked out by the red and pink, so let's throw some stripes in there too. So,
Yeah, and actually, Roxy says that she loves your sense of color. She loves black, but you may have converted her.
yeah,
Another convert to
I
color.
really like my phones bright pink and my project bags. I mean, I love pink.
I do too, and I used to hate it when I was younger. I don't know why, but I
Me
love it
too.
now. But
I agree.
Kimberly says these are beautiful, and Juanita says she has so many single hanks that she would knit many of these to wear, which is kind of the nice thing, especially when it's stripes. You're using half as much of each color, so it doesn't, you don't have
Well,
to
and sock
have a
yarn,
lot of it, right?
sock yarn comes in such great yardage. So one hank of sock yarn, you get a pair of mittens is pretty great. So
Yeah, that is pretty great. So,
no guess you have to do. Well, there's a thumb gusset, but no like heel flaps or anything.
yeah, exactly. So Mary S says that she also loves your Fair Isle Pico hat, which is in Sock Yarn Studio too. So,
Yeah, sock
yeah,
yarn, not just for socks.
no, and the nice
That's
thing
another.
is it's all machine washable. So, I mean, it's
Yeah, and your
great
hands
for
always
gift.
get dirty.
Yeah, always because
Wash
you're
those off
touching
in
stuff.
one door. Yeah,
Yeah. So, and if you're doing gifts, machine washable is the way to go because you know what's going to
right.
happen to it.
Well, and if they're even if they are knitters, but non-knitters don't understand, that you can't put everything in the wash, and it's hard to get mad at them if you didn't tell them that.
Yeah,
So,
I always tell them send it back to me and I'll wash it for you. I'll wash it and
right. Or
reblock it for you. Yeah.
yeah, and the nylon makes it stronger. Mary said it wears forever. Yeah, if there's nylon in the sock yarn, it
Yeah.
makes it super strong.
Yeah, it's designed for heavy wear. So to put it on something that, is not on your feet, but it doesn't mean it's not going to get heavy wear. So, yeah, these are so cute. I just loved them. And I love the stitch detail on this, and I think it's a great example of how a little bit of contrast goes goes a long way. And also, obviously, you're not using that much of the second color. So if you have a small amount of something you really love, that this is a great way to work it into another project. So tell us about this cowl.
Well, just like you said, yeah, a little bit of that contrasting. You could even use a different weight or texture. Maybe you have some Angora. That would be pretty nice. Make it textured. And if you had a big hank of each color, you could probably get another one out and reverse the colors. But it is interesting. It reminds me a little bit of those heart monitors with
The
the
little
lines.
blips. Yeah.
But it's an interesting stitch and it's an easy one. And a cowl, I think, is a great way to learn a new technique because there's usually no shaping. It's just a big loop. Everyone likes cowls. And it is, just like everything in this book, a good way to kind of use up those lonely hanks, or some people save every little bit of yarn they ever had left over. You could make every one of the stripes with the blippy things on them a different color too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, the possibilities are endless with cowls.
Yeah. It's just, and I love cowls because you never get the ends stuck. They're never hanging out of your car while you're driving and being
Well, they're
dragged through
they're really hard to
puddles or,
lose. Yeah. Scarves, I always lose scarves. They just come off my neck and I don't notice, which sounds silly, but cowls they can't. So that's why I love cowls too.
yeah. And Juanita says that this can be used to dress up or dress down. And I think it's all about the fiber and color choice on this one. And says it
Yeah, you
looks
could
like
even
it's,
blush a metallic in there and make it,
oh,
fancy for all the holiday parties.
yeah, that's a great idea. A little bit of metallic where those elongated stitches are, and
Yeah.
she says it looks like you could pull this up over the back of your head if you're out
Yeah,
walking
like a
in the snow. Yeah, so it's a
sword.
snood too. So yeah, and Kimberly says she loves the colors, which I agree. I think that turquoise with that soft yellow is such an interesting combination.
Yeah,
So
they're nice. They they I love working with Interweave because they let me choose the colors and the people I work with and the projects. Everything has to be approved, but they trust my sense of color and they trust the roster of designers and the yarns that I want to use, and um, they're just fantastic to work with.
yeah,
So I
this.
I feel like the book is me in a book, so I love this book.
Oh, good. We love it too. I think, yeah. Tana says she likes cows because she doesn't, or Juanita says she likes cows because she doesn't have a neck. Well, okay. Thanks for sharing. We love you, Juanita. So, and of course, every small project book needs a pair of socks, right? This one, the
Agreed.
texture on these are crazy.
Yeah, and that's the thing I have with socks, and they're always in a small project book. So I'm really picky about what they have to be fantastic socks to be in one of my books. And I'm not a sock designer. These are um, Marjan Hemmings, who's this Finnish knitter who's amazing. And I mean, these are works of art on
They
your
really
feet. They're
are.
just so I think basic socks are fantastic, but special socks are even better, especially if they're gifts. I
Mhm.
only knit socks for my mom, so they better be pretty spectacular. So I love
Yeah,
these.
these would fall within that category. The texture on them, and I love because you see a little bit on that back where that cable works its way
Right.
into the ribbing at the top of the sock, and it's just really, really, really beautiful. Candy R says she loves
There's
these,
a
and
picture.
Candy says oh wow, pretty. She loves knitting socks with lots of pattern, and I think, plain everyday socks have a place, but these are the kind of socks where you kind of don't even want to put shoes on. So,
Right. Well, yeah, and Roxy said you could put leather on the bottom. Definitely. Stores sell just the sole part.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, these are so beautiful. Maybe you don't want to stuff them into boots. So wear them as slippers. Absolutely.
Yeah, really, really pretty. I agree. With you, Roxy. I would make these slippers because I wouldn't want to hide all that texture work. And this, my sister has asked me for socks for Christmas for like I don't know 5 years now, and she still hasn't gotten them because I don't really necessarily enjoy knitting socks because I don't wear them myself. I don't wear any socks, and except under my hiking boots, and only because I have to. But the I wish she'd asked me for mittens because I would make her these. I think this is such an interesting combination of texture that
It is.
yeah. Oh, Candy says she has clear clogs. I think that's great for showing off your socks, right?
They make clear boots too. I've seen those in a couple
Uh,
knit shops. They're pretty intense, but yeah, you put a lot of work into socks. You may as well show them off.
yeah. Cinderella with crystal shoes. How funny. So tell us about these mittens. I just really am so in love with this texture on these.
Are cool. They're really textured, as you can see. Um, that combined with a variegated yarn, and I love this colorway because it's called Christmas at Downton, so it's Downton Abbey inspired. But they're also really thick and fluffy, and I think that's what a mitten should be.
Mm, I agree. Oh, Tanis, we lost your sound. Tanis, I see your mouth moving, but I can't hear you. Tanis, have you lost your sound? I think she can't hear me. Is it me? Tanis. Oh,
Uh-oh, can people not hear
oh,
me?
there you go. Oh,
Did I disappear?
you did.
I'm back.
Yeah, now you're back.
I was just saying that it's a slip stitch pattern and it looks harder than it is. So it's a good gift.
Yeah, I think the slip stitch with a variegated yarn creates such a beautiful design without having to do anything crazy that it's
Yeah, the yarn does a lot of the work for you. Yeah, which is great. You know, when you're especially if you're knocking off 15 hand knit holiday pieces. So
God
you
help
can
you.
just stop and going. Yeah, then you've got other problems, but yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, it could be worse, right? I'm thinking how, but it could
Yes.
be worse. It could be worse. So, well, thanks for sharing your book because yeah, it's really amazing. I think you're coming back to talk about Wanderlust, the next one that's coming out.
Yep, and I just finished on the one after Wanderlust, so there's never a
Oh,
dull moment around.
I tell you what, woman, some point you're going to have to learn how to sleep. That's all I can say. At some point, you're going to have to learn how to sleep. So, yeah, yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah, and then so Candy and Kate both are saying how much they love this book, and Kate doesn't want you to stop. Kate, we have to let her sleep sometime, right? So
No,
Jamie's going to
you
order this
can sleep.
today, unless of course you win it during the event, or
Yep.
we're giving away one on Facebook as well. Later this week, probably on Friday, we'll start running that one. Um, so there we go.
Roxy's
Oh,
funny.
yeah, right. So now we're on Tanis's website. So this is where you keep track of Tanis. It's tanisknits.com. And in here she
My
says her
new
husband
logo.
is a green mechanical engineer, which I think is a mechanical engineer for green practices, though Roxy did
Well, I'm
say
a gray
it was
knitter.
great to have a husband who's colored green. So, yes, I can see where you could read that in more than one way. And actually, I had to read it twice. It was like, okay. Oh no, I get it now. So yeah, so you this is where you keep track of Tanis and it's at tanisknits.com, oddly enough. And then also you can keep track of Tanis on her designer page on Ravelry, which is Tanis Gray, oddly enough, under her name. And Tanis, I see this 337 designs, and I think you're in second place behind Nora Gowan, who gets credit for everything at Barocco. So, which doesn't really you can't really mix those two together and come up with a real number. So, um, yeah, this is pretty crazy. You should be like 148 to have 337 designs.
Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to, you can get so much done if you don't sleep. I mean, it's amazing.
Oh, God. Okay, so you can also follow Tanis on Facebook, which is Facebook/Tanis Gray. It's actually very easy to keep track of you because everything's actually in your name, which is not
Yeah,
that
it's nice to
common,
have
right?
an
It's not like your name is like
yeah.
Susan Jones or something. So the
Well, I think I've told you my mom, dad, and brother and nephew are all Pat M. Gray, and it just gets really confusing. So I am happy to not be another Pat M. Gray in the family.
yeah, Juanita says that you need to sleep, Tanis. Yeah, I know. Oh God. So, and then you can also keep track of Tanis on Twitter, which obviously is at Tanis Gray. I see a pattern developing here. And then, um, and because I follow your blog, Tanis, I saw when this was going on and I thought, good God.
Yeah, what's happening? Yeah.
Yeah. So Tanis has a shop on Etsy where she makes project bags for knitters.
Ooh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
So
But they're fabric,
they're very
so they
cool
won't
fabric, interesting
oh, they're
colors
apart. Yeah, there's again the pink and the orange that we talked about. We
that
love
isn't
pink and
supposed to go
orange.
together. So, yeah,
It
Jamie
does.
says they're too cute. She also wants to know what time you get up in the morning, but I guess if you don't go to bed, then
Well, my 3-year-old wakes me up, but yeah, I go to bed very late, or I guess early, as it were. I need about 3 or 4 hours of sleep. I'm
oh,
good.
goodness, 9 or don't talk to me. So, because I will be a crazy woman. So, so on Etsy, you can shop for Tanis's project bags right here on her very own Etsy shop. So I know everybody wants a copy of this book. You know, we're going to give away
It's
one today after we stop recording. We're also going to be giving away one on Facebook later this week. And if you're not a lucky winner or you just can't wait and you need to have it now, of course, the first thing you're going to do is call your local yarn store and see if they have it because it is available now. And if not, you're going to slide on over to Planet Pearl. You're going to click on books, and you will see that Three Skeins or Less is actually the first book on our list here. And there's this little link here that says buy the book through Amazon and help support Planet Pearl, which helps us pay for like the interface that we're using today for live events, so you can get previews of books and meet fantastic authors and even royalty like Tanis, since she is the queen. So, so I want to thank
put my
you
hat back
so.
on.
Put your crown back on, Tanis, and thank you, thank you so much for taking some time out of what is, I'm sure, a crazy schedule to come visit
Hmm.
us. Jamie wants to know if you ever come to
Anytime soon,
Chicago. So, are you still, are you,
perhaps. After the local yarn shop. Yeah, I'll travel if it's pretty close.
yeah, and I guess,
And
I
I'm
mean,
usually up that way from daily TV anyway. We just filmed another season 2 weeks ago in Ohio, so pretty close.
yeah, wow. Well, Jamie says your crown does make the outfit, which I agree, and I applaud you for not having, for having a green crown as opposed to a black one. So,
Well, yeah.
I know, why be normal? So,
And you are making a guest appearance on my blog soon and giving away a copy of your new book as well,
I am. I think we're
which is
actually going to
also
give
really good
away
to know.
two copies of American Gift Knitting on your blog. So I'll be coming to visit, and we'll be changing places. You'll be interviewing me for a change. So yeah, so that should be fun. So and for anybody who's in the high North Carolina High Country next week, I'll also be signing books at Unwound Yarn in Blowing Rock. So even if you aren't in the high country, it's beautiful this time of year. So you should come on up and visit. So, well, thank you.
I'm teaching there next year, which is
I'm,
pretty great. I've
yeah,
never been down.
you should come. It's the prettiest place in America, I think. So, but
I'll
so
be there for the
there you go.
unfold.
Come soon, because as you can tell, we're preparing for holidays. So
Christmas in October.
Why not? So thank you, everyone. And Juanita says thank you for sharing some fun time. And people in the
Well,
room do
thank you
not.
all for sharing.
Oh, isn't that nice? So people in the room do not go away because I'm about to give away a book, and you don't want to miss that. So thanks again, Tanis. And well, I'll be seeing you soon on
Thank you
your
for having
blog, and
me.
then we'll be seeing you back next year for Wanderlust here on the party line, so you can keep your
Sounds great.
ranking as the queen of the party line. No one's going to catch you next year. I know that.
Keep it up. Yeah.